All right, so the Roland TD-17 module. This is just going to be my first impressions, and I'm going to give some sound samples and then my final thoughts at the end of the video. So just a quick note before I start, I'm only going to be covering things related to the module and the performance of the module, sounds and things like that, because I don't have the pads that come with the kit, obviously. So just want to make sure that that's clear. So yeah, let's get started. Right out of the box, I really like how this module operates. The menu layout and the button layout is super easy and obvious. For somebody that doesn't know about eDrums, this is one of the most user-friendly modules out there. The first thing I encountered was setting up the triggers because I don't have the Roland pads. And there's a button that says setup and brings you to a menu, and you can see right where it says pad settings. And when you're in the pad settings menu to set up the sensitivity and everything, one of my favorite things about the module is that Roland puts a graph in with this menu. And usually you just have to dial in the sensitivity and the curve and everything with your ears, and it's totally doable. It's but for especially somebody starting out, to have that graph there to correspond your soft hits to your loud hits, it just makes it so much easier to dial in. And obviously for me, it just made it 10 times quicker because I could match up visually as well. So I really like that they include that here. The other thing is the amount of adjustability and control you have over the ambience effects, like the reverbs and things, is just awesome. For a module at this price, again, it's really easy to get into. You hit the other button, and it kind of brings up like these folder looking icons, and right there is ambience. So you can go and choose the type, the room type, and choose your reverb basically, and then you can EQ it further with different model type things, and that's great to have that. I mean, that's really deep already. But what I really like is when you go into the sends menu, it opens up kind of like a mixer, and you can adjust individually how much of the ambience you want going to each pad per zone. And that's really great. I mean, that's about as deep of editing as you can ask for. You can put as much reverb on just the snare as you want, and anything on the kit. So, I mean, that's just really great. The other thing I thought was kind of cool is the sample import feature. Although it is only one shot, you still are able to put the sounds that you want to in there and just kind of like mix them in with, the onboard sounds. And if you guys don't know what a one-shot sample is, it's just a recording, one hit, and then stop, and you put that in there. And normally that wouldn't really be ideal because you would get machine gunning by just repeating that same one sample, But with the options that they give you, they make it really easy to, avoid any machine gunning, and you can have it just fade in at the top of the velocity. And I think if they're going to have one-shot sample import, this is probably the best that it's going to get. It plays the smoothest, and you can mix it really nice. So that is a nice feature. Now, I just want to touch really quick on the performance of the module, like how it triggers and everything, and I definitely think it is very smooth to play, and this is just something that Roland is, the best at in the entire eDrum industry. They have super low latency, and you feel that when you're playing this module. Anytime you touch something, you hear the sound like almost immediately. I particularly like how quick the cymbals choke. If you guys know that drummer from Michael Jackson, I forget his name now, but he does like all these crazy cymbal chokes all around the kit, super fast and everything, and you can totally do something like that using this module. And I don't even have the Roland cymbals, and they just respond great. Okay, so what I want to do now is just jam through some of the kits for you guys so you can hear some of the sounds that they have in this module, and then I'm going to talk about them and give my opinion on them, and of course my final thoughts on the module as a whole. Okay, so now that you guys have heard some of the kits, I definitely want to talk about the sounds. I think anyone that gets the module in general is going to be pretty happy with the cymbals. They sound like really natural to me. I think the ride cymbal is one of the best samples that Roland have ever put in a module, like ever. Like the TD-50 as well. Like the ride cymbal just feels great. And to me, I noticed the edge is also really improved. I know in past Roland modules, it's been kind of odd to hit the edge of the ride cymbal, but this just has such a nice, buttery wash to it. Like you can really lay into the ride cymbal if you want, if you're one of those drummers. Now, talking about the not so good sounds, this is just my opinion, guys. The drum sounds are really just kind of let down. The snare drum is the worst, and it's just unfortunate because that's the heart of the drum set. And the ghost notes, when you play a ghost note, to me, it feels like, or it sounds like you're just scratching like a 3D binder, like really odd, or one of those practice pads that has the beads in it with the wood base. You know what I'm talking about? Neither of those things sound like a snare drum, and that's what this reminded me of. And it just, it sounds weird, but it also feels weird to play. And the toms and the kick, they kind of feel like flat and dead, and I can't explain it any other way. And I know Roland have been trying to go for a more natural sound in their modules with the TD-50 and of course the TD-17 line, but I think it's just like a learning curve maybe. And before you guys go and think that I'm just trying to be a hater, I want to do a quick comparison so you can hopefully hear just what I'm talking about, because Roland will have you guys believe that the sounds in the TD-17 are quote unquote real sampled drums, but you guys need to hear what they sound like compared to actual full velocity real sampled drums. But yeah, let me just show you real quick. I'm just going to do a floor tom and a snare drum and we'll come back. Anyway, so hopefully you guys can hear that there's quite a big difference, and that really comes across when you're actually playing the kit. When you try to lay into, the tom, or, in this case, the floor tom, that last bit of energy, like when you really lay into it, it's just not there. Where the sample, you can almost like feel the drum expanding, like when you're actually playing a kit, just really push through it. And, yeah, anyway, I just had to show you guys because I'm not going to say I don't like the sounds and not show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. So, in conclusion, with all those things being said, I think it is an absolutely great module for $600, guys. I mean, you can't really ask for more from a module that has sample import, so many, features and usability and controls in the module, and it's all easy to get to and sets up quick. You know what I mean? Reliability, all those good things, and you're really getting your money's worth here. But I think at the end of the day, this module is going to be best to upgrade, a cheaper electronic drum set, or just use as a practice kit. I don't think it's going to sound great through a PA, and especially not in a recording situation. You're going to want to look at, some of the other modules that cost a little bit more. But, again, I can't really fault it too much because some of the cymbal sounds are just really fantastic, and the fact that people even compare this module to others that are $300, $400, $500 more is just a huge feather in its cap. And in some ways, I definitely feel like it deserves that recognition. So if you're looking into the Roland TD-17, I highly recommend you go and check this module out. Play it for yourself. Don't just trust, my video and all the other recordings. You have to feel what it's like to play this module. And I know I wasn't too hyped on it, but you might like some of the sounds, and that's really all that matters. So I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you guys very soon.